In May 1996, South Africa became the first jurisdiction in the world to provide constitutional protection to the LGBTQ+ community. And in 2006, when it legalized gay marriage, it became just the 5th country in the world to do so, and the first in Africa. Amazing, isn't it? But despite all of this, we as a nation still have a rocky relationship with our LGBTQ+ community. Today, we chat with Minky as they open up about being non-binary. Hey Minky.
Hey, how are you?
I am great, thanks, and how are you?
I'm alright.
Okay, thank you so much for opening your home to us.
Always welcome, yeah.
Okay, so I mentioned that Minky is non-binary. That is what we're going to talk about today. But before we go there, talk a little bit about Minky Kimang, your upbringing, your childhood, yes.
Oh yeah, so Minky, bubbly as ever, the coolest kid in town. I grew up tomboy for most of my life, right? So I think there's stages to this. Have you ever wanted to play daddy when people are playing mommy? Have you ever had that? No, that was me. That was always me. I never felt like I wanted to be the mom in such situations. And I wanted to cook. Who wants to cook? Cooking sucks. So I always wanted to be the daddy. I always wanted to be the boyfriend, and that kind of alarmed me. Have you ever watched Ally McBeal? That was I think one of the first gay shows on SABC3. Do you know Ally McBeal?
I know the name.
Yeah, I used to play on SABC3 at like 9, and you had to be in bed by then. But I was up watching Ally McBeal because I could identify with that character. Yeah, so Minky grew up tomboy, and always wanted to play the dad. So as you grow up, you research on such things. Why am I different from other kids? Why am I more comfortable playing soccer? All these things, Then, I mean, you talk to people who you see, who you look up to, and they tell you, okay, they kind of give advice to say, you might be going through this, but you don't take their word for it because you want to go through the transition alone and find yourself, yeah. So that's ultimately how I got to knowing that Minky is a non-binary individual. Yeah. So what non-binary means is that you don't identify as either male or female. You identify as a third gender.
Okay. So throughout your childhood, and finding yourself and then discovering you're non-binary, was there ever a time when you had to come out to your family or to your friends, or was it a conversation that was never really had?
I've never really set my family down to say, hey, I mean, I'll be marrying a bridge and this is what it's called. So I'm dating an individual, so I don't see the need to be like, yo, come through, let's have some tea, and then let me tell you who I am. So growing up, mostly right from tomboy, you identify as lesbian. Then there's, are you trans or are you not? Are you non-binary? That's where the conversation starts. And I think if you have the conversation with yourself and you are aligned, then you don't really need to knock on doors and be like, hey, I'm non-binary. Wanna talk about it? So I've never really had to sit my parents down and tell them that this is who I am. I think they would say. So it's never been a conversation that's had around the table, but I mean, when we do have such, they do know who Minky dates girls. That's about it.
And now I want to go over some misconceptions. People assuming, oh, it's a choice or fashion or whatever. But now that is sexuality.
I think people don't know the difference between sexuality and gender. So if Minky dresses like a boy, Minky is gay, Minky is lesbian, Minky wants to be a boy, we assign a certain sexuality to you. You understand? So with people not knowing the difference, that's where all these myths come up. Open-minded enough to know there's a difference, then that's where we'll start the conversation. That's where we'll pick it up from, to say, okay, gender, male, female, third gender, and then underneath that, or broken down into that, there's sexuality, there's gay, there's lesbian, there's pansexual, there's a lot. That's where we can now filter the conversation to say, okay, you're lesbian, do you only date girls, or you're transitioning, are you transitioning from female to male and still identify as a straight male dating females, you know? So I think we need to have such conversations with the likes of yourselves and other YouTubers to kind of explain the difference between sexuality and gender. But there's like a whole lot of myths around it, you know, you were raped, that's why you don't like guys. I've personally never went through that. I don't ever want to go through such a thing. It's a terrible thing to go through. But yeah, there's a whole lot of myths, and none I associate with.
So you say that you're non-binary, which means you don't identify as either male or female, but then you want this surgery. So that would sort of give off the impression you are identifying or somewhat identifying as a particular gender.
Yeah, so I do want top surgery, and I do identify as non-binary. The reason I want top surgery is for to combat dysphoria, right? So dysphoria is when the man in the mirror does not align with your true self, you know? So that's the reason I want top surgery. And to me, I call them chesticles or moobs.
Okay.
Those are just like objects to me. They basically an accessory, so I don't need. Yeah, I can do without. I'm not attached to moobs or chesticles. So with that said, I don't think males, because there are males that have vaginas. Can I say that? Okay. There are males that have vaginas. There are males that go on their monthlies. So do they not consider those people straight male? What I'm trying to say is moobs or chesticles are just an accessory. So they shouldn't define who a person is in a specific gender. Don't know if I've answered you.
Okay, I think I get it. So basically a person can be non-binary and then still decide to keep their boobs, and that is also still perfectly fine.
Yeah,
that's perfectly
fine. It's a personal choice at the end of the day. Yeah, some go as far as wanting to lower their voice, right? Because normally females or people born a certain gender have like high-pitched voices as opposed to the opposite sex. So it's a personal choice at the end of the day, and for me, for my heart and soul to align, I just need to get these things off my chest. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, and then you've been very vocal about the need for gender-neutral bathrooms. Yes. So can you just tell us a little bit about that? Because I can just imagine how challenging it must be.
Okay, so I'm very fortunate to work for a company that actually does have gender-neutral bathrooms.
Oh.
Yeah. My only struggle is at malls and like public spaces, you know. So I try by all means to avoid that. But should I need to, then I'll just use the change room, you know. The change room has a seat there that you can use for such reasons. So by all means, I'd avoid using the female bathroom and then I'd go to. So at my workplace, we're very fortunate to have a gender neutral bathroom. So that's my safe space, that's my happy place, that's where I go to. So basically, gender neutral bathrooms are bathrooms that are for everyone, even a person that identifies as straight female. We call them cisgender, cis people, cisgender male, cisgender female. It's a bathroom. It doesn't have a certain genitalia attached to say only a certain type of person can use the bathroom. No, it's for everyone, male, female, alien. Welcome. You're more than welcome to use a bathroom because it's just for that intended purpose to release and go. Yeah. So safe spaces, man. Gender neutral bathrooms are the way to go.
Have you ever felt discriminated against? Is that why you avoided by all means, or?
I've never really had someone chase me out of the bathroom, but I'm not comfortable because I don't identify as female, and female bathrooms have a female signs to say only for female. So if you don't identify as female, so while you're in that bathroom, yes, you may have the genitalia that females have, but how comfortable are you in that space? Because I'd like to feel safe and I'd like someone else to feel safe using the bathroom. So now I've heard, or my friends have gone through experiences where they've been chased out of the bathroom. They know you don't belong here. But personally, I've never had such an experience in the bathroom. I've had experiences outside of the bathroom, like walking down the street and being called names and stuff like that. You know, I've also received like backlash from family without having that meeting that we spoke about. You know, I mean, it's a conversation at the end of the day that we need to talk about. But personally, I've never experienced bathroom backlash except in the streets, walking, you know, being called names and stuff like that. Yeah.
What ties us all together is the fact that we're all human and nobody deserves to be discriminated against on the basis of age, race, gender, or sexuality. And just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it is wrong. Keep an open mind. Be open to learning. Remember that life is not just black and white. There's a whole lot of gray area. There's pink, blue, a splash of gold, green, yellow. And speaking of color, Minky, this week is Pride! This week is Pride. The 28th of September. 28th of September is Pride. Are you going?
Yes, definitely. I'll be there.
Definitely. Yeah. Maybe is definitely going to Pride. So where's the Pride?